Captain's Log, Subdate 200626.7. Environmental settings have been given a complete wipe, which was what caused the plasma in the exhaust to not properly vent, which in turn turned the Lovecraft Pod 01 into an unbearably hot sauna. I hate Windows 10 and their poxy updates. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter. Today we have quite a lot of subjects to go through and a T-Wench submission. We'll get to that later. First we're going to go to Nadine Thornhill, who tweeted, "To my well-intentioned white friends, here's a harsh truth I need you to accept. Some black folks will never be okay with you, and if you truly care about righting racial injustice, you have to fight for us anyway. I, as a blue man, have always prided myself on being a problem solver. Knowing there is a solution to a problem is key to being able to go forward. It is, like anything in life, an obstacle. But to be presented with an argument that says that it will never be resolved because some won't be okay with it, there is a word for it, I'm not going to use it. I'm instead going to remind you that you cannot defeat racism by in turn never seeking to end it. If you're not okay with people because of the colour of their skin, and you're still, even if, say, it's all been resolved, you're still not okay with it, then chances are you have a problem. One has to be open to working together to resolve it. Not being okay with it, even if it's a minimal number of people, does not resolve the issue and in fact breeds a different problem. One of what most would call a perpetual victim who themselves suffer with the very problem they accuse white people of having. I am attempting to be as polite as possible because it is a sensitive topic for many, but I am not going to attack someone for holding those views, and I should point out, Nadine Thornhill is merely restating what others believe, not herself, maybe. Next we go to Anon0004. How can you vote for Conservative and be a person of colour? That literally makes no sense. Nice use of the word literally. Aman Bogle, #StayAlert, has pointed out that he is not an identity politics tick box. Along with being a proud British Indian, he is also a proud conservative. He himself is not a fan of identity politics, and I'll be honest, the more people push back against identity politics, the better. Because once you start devolving it down to the arbitrary, you lose the substance of what you're trying to argue for. Someone's going to disagree with me on that? Go nuts. I merely believe that you only make things go forward and you can progress when you don't pick at the little bits. Spoken with no level of irony when he knows someone's going to pick up on the little bit. Rick Wilson got triggered on Twitter by Domino's because they replied to a former press secretary of President Donald Trump's, who said that, fun fact, Domino's is way better than any New York City pizza. Rick Wilson got triggered because they replied and said that's one heck of a compliment, him believing that it now kills their brand. Well, they kind of replied back, it's unfortunate that thanking a customer for a compliment back in 2012 will be viewed as political. Guess that's 2020 for you. 2020, for the most part, will be remembered for two things: COVID-19 and cancel culture. All the C's. Yay. Because everyone's getting cancelled over their past, although that was happening last year. I do believe it's happening quite a lot now, with the current BLM-related cancelling of anyone doing anything outside of their own lane. Then again, it's not a surprise that Rick Wilson would go in on Domino's, because since she was, Kaylee, that is, former press secretary to Trump, it's worth pointing out Rick Wilson released a book, Running Against the Devil, a plot to save America from Trump and Democrats from themselves. I'm starting to see why you didn't like Domino's doing something in 2012, a full 4 years. 4 years before Trump was even in office. Okay. Next we go to Susanna, who has tweeted, instead of telling women their breasts are sexy no matter the size, how about we stop sexualizing breasts? Consider this audience participation time. You, the lovely, lovely audience, I'm not going to show the picture she includes in the tweets, a cartoon of breasts, I'm not showing it. If YouTube says I show nudity, didn't do it. Didn't do it. I would like you to tell me if it's okay to say that breasts are sexy, or if it's equally likely Susanna hasn't received this compliment before, and so she's a bit sensitive on the subject. Next, let's go to Hate Watch, Boogaloo is a term used by white nationalists and neo-Nazis who want to see society descend into chaos so they can come to power and build a new fascist state. They are trying to take advantage of protests against police brutality to further their goal, linking to a spycenter.org article. Boogaloo actually started on 4chan 10 years ago on the weapons board. It was a reference to mocking those people like 3%ers who would scream revolution at every mention of gun control. It's a meme of breaking to electric Boogaloo, courtesy of a non-nurse practitioner. Don't you just love a little internet history? I feel like we all learnt something today, and it just reminds me there are some YouTubers who have second channels with Boogaloo in. Jeff Holiday's one of them, and I'm not going to be drawn into the argument of what path he is now currently treading because it is quite a divisive one. But I do think Electric Boogaloo sounds cool for a second channel. I called mine Moistski Live. We'll talk about that next Thursday. Next we go to our tea wench. We have a tea wench. Yuletta Howell has sent me a video of her making me tea. Now I should preface this by saying I have 2 allergies. One is shellfish. Yes, I saw the joke. The other is mustard, a rather peculiar one. You need to know these for this video. Take it away, tea wench.
Yo, Megan, I heard that you would like a cup of tea, so today we're going to make some Merkin tea. First, we start out with a tea bag. I have some Lady Grey here today. You can choose whatever blend you would like for this recipe. So then I take a little dash of sugar, not too much. You don't want to get it overly sweet or anything. Then I add just a touch of cinnamon for a little added flavor, and a dash of milk here, just like so. Then I take my water that I boiled in my Keurig and add it to the mixture. Then I garnish it with just a handful of chocolate chips for good measure, and we're going to garnish it with some mustard today, because I hear how much you like mustard. So. It smells so good. Delicious. Enjoy!
I put it to all of you now, you may grade that tea. Since it is highly likely this video is demonetized for me targeting somebody, even though I have not targeted, I have merely commented, I ask you, the lovely Premiere chat, and of course anyone watching this on playback, grade the tea. And if you'd like to submit an entry, just send it to me. I'm sure you'll find an avenue and I'll see it eventually. Best of luck to you. Although I would very much like to see something better than this tea. The look on your face when you sipped that? Delicious. Next we go to Decima. Name a better sequel than The Last of Us Part 2, I'll Wait. This is some bait, and you know it. Like yesterday in the exhibition of stupid people, this is bait. I like bait. Everyone, name your favourite sequel that is better than The Last of Us Part 2. The only thing, by the way, I know about The Last of Us Part 2 currently is the love scene, because that was everywhere. You spent a lot of time on those graphics. Quite hunches. Denise has said, who says, let's go to Burger King or Taco Bell? I ask now you, the lovely chat, again. This is audience participation, twat. I like this. What is your favourite fast food joint? Mine is tortoise soup. I've never had it, but I bet it's delicious. I'm kidding. I don't actually eat fast food for the most part. I was given a kebab 2 weeks ago. I ate the chips and that was it, because I honestly couldn't do anything else. I give the meat to the dogs. I'm not much of a fast food person. But I would love to know what you all think on that. The final one we're going to go with, Dr. Priyamvada Gopal, who tweeted out, I'll say it again, white lives don't matter as white lives. Lives? Lives? Shortly after that tweet, Cambridge University promoted her. And stand by her. Oh boy. Yeah. Some people They just really, really want to be hated. I really don't like it when people devolve things down to race. And I should say this with all seriousness. I could mock all these people who do this. All day long, I could do that. But once you devolve it down to race, and you start to attack because of race, you then become the very thing you claim to fight against. The very thing you claim to stand up to oppose. because you have devolved it down to race. While uncomfortable discussions need to happen with many people, those discussions need to have everyone listening to each other and not just, oh, I be minority, so I be only heard, because only I victim. That is not the case, and anyone that thinks that is narrow-minded. I agree certain issues need to be handled with a certain level of tact, but since I ride the fence quite well on these issues, I think it's right to say people who say things like white lives don't matter should not be championed or elevated. It is and reeks of bad optics for anyone involved. With all that we've covered today, I'd love to know what you think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, today's a very sad day. My Nagash notebook that I've had since the 12th of August of last year has sadly been filled up and is now dead. F in the chat for my notebook. Rest in peace, you were a good boy. And to quote Nagash, even in death, I still live. Sad face.